The Ravens are riding a 3-game win streak into Cleveland this Sunday, but all that matters is going 2-0 against the Browns. The defense has stepped up in a huge way, special teams is improving, and the offense continues to hum behind Lamar, Henry, and Zay. In Week 2, the Ravens face the Browns with Joe Flacco under center, but this time it's the rookie, Dillon Gabriel, who has gone 1-4 since taking the reins. The Browns defensively have been stout in a number of categories as usual, but have also been let down nearly all season by their offense. With the Ravens looking to capitalize on this disparity with their recent turnaround on defense, will they add a 4th win to their streak? Or will the division trap game rear its ugly head and disrupt the Ravens' comeback? On Sunday, we'll find out. Let's get to it. Welcome in, everyone. This is Jordan with Ravens Flash Report, and today we're going to be going through the reasons that I believe the Ravens keep their win train rolling this Sunday, as well as the possible pitfalls that they may encounter in this upcoming matchup. Like the video if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below your thoughts and score predictions for the Ravens Week 11 game. So the Browns are 2-7, but they know the Ravens as well as the Ravens know them, and we all know how different division games are, especially in the AFC North. The Bengals, for example, have only 3 wins this year, but 2 of them were against the Browns and the Steelers. You can never count out divisional opponents. Having said that, let's take a look at some of the problems that the Browns can give the Ravens and how they might be able to pull off the upset over the purple and black. Number 1. Myles Garrett versus the Ravens offensive line. It's no secret that with the Ravens defense improving, the weakest link on this team is now the offensive line, and some would say it always was. But regardless if it was always the weak link, it for sure is now, and that means that another round with the Browns' pass rush is of particular concern, and especially Myles Garrett. Garrett currently leads the league in sacks with 11 through just 9 games. For context, the Ravens as a team have 12 sacks over the same amount of games. And it's not just that the pass rush of the Browns is a strength of theirs going up against a weakness of ours, but also that last time we faced them, despite winning the game, our run game was held to a mere 45 yards on 21 attempts. That's an average of only 2.1 yards per carry. Derrick Henry had only 23 yards on 11 attempts in Week 2, which was the lowest yards total in any game since joining the Ravens. If the Ravens' offensive line can't open running lanes nor protect Lamar in the pocket, there's a very real chance the Ravens fail to score enough or even move the ball enough to win this game. Number 2. Cleveland's tight ends versus Ravens' soft zone coverage. The Ravens defense has made very impressive strides over the past 4 games. They're averaging only 14.5 points per game allowed, averaging under 95 rushing yards allowed per game, 8 turnovers forced, and 327.5 total yards allowed per game. This is compared with 408.8 through the first 5 games. But one area that has continued to cause issue is pass catchers running free in the middle of the defense. Dillon Gabriel doesn't scare me, Quinshon Judkins doesn't scare me, and Jerry Jeudy doesn't scare me. What does scare me is David Njoku and Harold Fannin catching passes 7 to 10 yards deep, smack dab between the hashes, and taking it upfield for another 10 to 15 before being tackled. The Ravens have shown that they can be beaten a couple times a game on the outside, and this is an aspect that they've worked on as it was a much bigger issue earlier in the season. But their susceptibility to big plays being made over the linebackers is a problem that has yet to be resolved from what I can see. And with both tight ends being top 3 on the team in receiving yards and being 1 and 2 in receiving touchdowns, I would say that the Browns will be looking to exploit that susceptibility. Number 3, make Baltimore one-dimensional. I've already touched on the clear and obvious weakness that is the Baltimore Ravens offensive line when it comes to pass blocking, but the run blocking has been arguably just as bad in 2025. I mentioned how bad the numbers were the last time these teams faced each other in Week 2, but that combination of stopping Baltimore's ground game mixed with getting consistent pressure on Lamar makes for a long day against this Browns defense. Now, there have been plenty of games where the Ravens' ability to run however they want was limited, and they still were able to get the win. In those games and in those wins, the issue of running the ball consistently wasn't often paired with inadequate time to throw due to the opposing pass rush. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Browns' secondary is a top unit in the league, but if the opposing quarterback, in this case Lamar, is constantly under duress and is forced into making throws he doesn't want to make, mistakes will happen, and the defense has a chance to capitalize on it. But now, we've covered the top reasons that I believe the Browns could pose a threat to the Ravens extending their win streak on Sunday. let's get into why I believe those reasons may not matter. Number 1, Lamar Jackson. As it's been said before, Lamar Jackson is the great equalizer. You may think you have a great defensive play made, and somehow Lamar finds a way to make a play. We've seen him escape pressure that would be a sack 9.9 times out of 10 from anyone else. We've seen him hit throws through the tightest windows of coverage possible, and we've seen him extend plays outside the pocket that effectively eliminate a great pass rush or great pass coverage simply by being the best football player on the field every time he steps onto it. But excluding his near demigod abilities, it is true that Lamar Jackson has been playing some of the best football in the NFL over the past 2 seasons, and with a postseason berth on the line and every game becoming a weekly must-win, it's hard for me to believe that the play of Lamar Jackson will be the downfall of this team on Sunday, rather than its main reason for success. Number 2, offensive versatility. While it's true that the Ravens' rushing attack was stifled substantially the last time they faced the Browns in Week 2, I feel it's important to remind everyone that Patrick Ricard was not playing in that game. Ricard's presence is not only heavily influential in the run game, blocking for Henry or any other ball carrier for that matter, but also as an additional blocker in the pass game, which, as we all know by now, needs as much help as it can get. Unfortunately, it seems as though the Ravens will be without Rashad Bateman in this matchup. Luckily, they have done a good job recently at dispersing the ball in the passing game more evenly, while still getting most of the target share to guys like Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and Isaiah Likely. Hopefully, in Bateman's absence, Devontae Walker will get a chance to play some meaningful snaps for this offense. At the end of the day, the Ravens simply have too many weapons on offense for this Browns defense to handle. And, as we saw last time, their efforts to stop the run were in vain as we put up 41 points without it. Number 3, defensive improvements. Speaking of points per game, the Ravens defense only allowed 17 the last time we faced the Browns, and that was against Joe Flacco, who has certainly shown more life in the Bengals offense than Dillon Gabriel has with the Browns. At the end of the day, I won't count out Gabriel completely, just as I didn't count out McCarthy completely last week. But this defense has shown significant improvement over the last 5 games, and many of those improvements have come by way of rookie players such as Malachi Starks and Teddy Buchanan, both of which faced the Browns the first time in just their second game ever. There's also been serious impact from a couple of new Ravens, such as Gilman and Draymond Jones, who weren't even a part of the team when the Ravens faced the Browns in Week 2. Since all this is speculation, as any of these players could play better or worse than expected on game day, I like to think of each of these players as a value with a gradient attached to it, which indicates the margin of error that can be expected from them. For those of you listening that have an interest in math, it's sort of like a standard deviation, if you will. Anyway, when all 3 of these reasons, both for the Browns and for the Ravens, are weighed out against one another, it still feels like a fairly solid chance of victory for the Ravens. For my offensive impact player of the game, I'm looking at Zay Flowers to have a big day in the absence of Bateman. I still think Lamar and Todd Monken will spread the ball out, but I think that he has his first 100-plus yard day since Week 1 against the Bills, along with a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, my impact player is going to be Nate Wiggins, not only because of the injury to Marlon Humphrey, but also because Wiggins has recorded an interception in each of the last 2 times that he's faced the Browns, and Sunday, he should go 3 for 3. In the end, as I stated earlier, I do believe the Ravens come out of this game with a win, and pretty handily at that. My final score prediction has the Ravens winning 38-13. If you guys enjoyed this quick breakdown and game preview, feel free to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new around here, and like I said at the top, please put your thoughts and score predictions of this game down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, stay safe out there, and go Ravens.